Hello, hello, and hello. I know somebody out there is going to look at me and say, it is not that cold. Guess what? It is that cold out there. And I have no intentions of freezing my tail off. So here we go to pick up some groceries. It's the end of the week and the refrigerator is bare. And I have quite a few errands to run out here. I took the day off. It's Friday. And I'm just now recognizing this is probably the best time to come to good old Wegmans. Come with me. Walking through these stores and looking at all these cakes that I can't have, but I'm resisting. Ooh, and these are delicious. But I'll go right by and just look, but I will not stop to purchase. This I can have. And I did buy myself some haddock. I love haddock. It's really a nice white fish.
Yes. Can I get 4 large scallops and about
I can't wait for spring. I was trying to find some kind of a snack that's low carb and very little sugar, but on this trip, I did not find any, but I'll keep searching. I'll keep searching. Can you tell Valentine's Day is right around the corner? Everything says Valentine's Day. The real reason why I'm in this store is to get my berries. They look absolutely great. Alrighty, time to go into Trader Joe's for my sardines and veggies. Here I am in Trader Joe's, and all I wanted were a few cans of sardines. They had none. Zero. Nil. I had to mute the sound for copyright reasons. But not a one. No sardines. What is a girl to do? Can you see these mounds and mounds of snow? Let's see. Mounds and mounds of snow. I think it's going to be April before all this is gone. And this pales in comparison to Just look at this. We haven't seen this much snow in a long, long time. So here I am trying to find some veggies that I could absolutely try that I've never had before. Herbs also. Cilantro I was getting. But those green onions, $1.99. Just 2 weeks ago, they were 99 cents. But I am trying to expand what I eat when it comes to vegetables. I need to. But I do have a plan to broaden my horizon and try some new herbal teas. And you'll see, I have a challenge coming up with herbal teas, no sugar, and water. Stay tuned for that. The music is so loud in the supermarket that I had to mute the section. I absolutely don't want to be flagged for copyright. But I am trying my best to move away from just the two varieties of herbal teas that I've been drinking. So I grabbed myself fruit tea sampler and I'll be trying that. I think it has a bunch of different flavors in it. And I really like herbal teas. I do. So I just got off the road and this is actually my first meal of the day. I was so hungry. It was after 1 o'clock. I just had some plain yogurt with some berries, but I know I was still hungry. So I have some egg whites and some avocados right here. And I'm drinking a cup of tea. What does this say? Yeah, drinking a cup of tea out of this wonderful mug. I'm a little bit drained and tired, but I'm gonna be cooking in this video. So I'm gonna eat some food, get some strength, and get the stuff together. It's Saturday morning, and I'm getting ready to make some soup. Pumpkin soup. I have this pumpkin where the skin is very, very thick and hard to peel. And I've found a way that works great for me. And it's a tip for anybody out there who finds that this, pumpkin is kind of hard to peel sometimes, depending on the kind of pumpkin you get. So this is what I do. I have a pot on the stove filled with water with a colander on top. I'm gonna cut each piece in 2 halves so that it probably can fit better. And skin down, I'm gonna put it in the colander. Of course, no plastic is gonna be on there. And this way, the steam is going to soften the skin and make it much easier for me to peel. That's something that I've been doing for a long time because I don't want to get cut. I've had enough cuts while I'm cooking. And this way is one way that I've found that works really very well. I mentioned I'm making beef soup, beef pumpkin soup. I also like to put cow's feet in my soup. So if you want to call this a beef cow feet pumpkin soup, you sure can. I find that this will be a really good broth to cook the soup, as I'm going to be putting this nicely washed and cleaned into my pot right now. And I'm going to turn the stove down, low, reasonably low, so that this broth can really, really be luscious and not, how do I say this? I want a really good broth. You know how everybody is having bone broth these days? I say we've been having bone broth for years and years and centuries. So I'm gonna cover this pot. After I'm gonna chop a whole onion in probably 3 pieces and put it in there with some thyme and just let this go on cooking. By the time, I would say 2 hours have elapsed, my pumpkin, and I could only fit 3 pieces in at a time, so I'm gonna do these 3 pieces. When the skin gets tender, I'll put the other 2 pieces in because I want a rich pumpkin flavor in this soup today. Now, because I'm cooking for my husband as well, I'm gonna show you halfway through the process before I put all the ground produce in this pot. I'm going to take some of the broth out and put it in a separate pot because I don't want my soup to be cooked with potatoes in it, and that's white potatoes. I'm trying to eliminate as much carbs as possible, but you'll see the process. See that? The knife runs right across it. So much easier. Now these are all the things that I normally would put in my soup. Cocoa, sometimes they call it yatia, yellow yam, different kind of sweet potatoes. That's another kind of sweet potato. All of this good stuff. But they're loaded. White potatoes are right there, but they are loaded with carbohydrates, especially yellow yam. But pumpkins will always be in my soup, always. Some time has elapsed, and it's almost time for me to do some separation where I'm gonna take half of the container from this pot. Looks delicious, doesn't it? And it's gonna go in this pot. These are the veggies that's going in both. This is, it's called chayote, but Jamaicans call it chocho. This is a turnip, and this is an American sweet potato. I'm gonna be putting half of this in mine and the other half in the pot that contains the soup, which is gonna be for my husband. This is some green onions, can't have too much. And in this bowl is a Scotch bonnet pepper that almost broke in the soup. The flavor from the Scotch bonnet, the skin, it hits the atmosphere and it's so great. But if that pops in the soup and all the seeds get into the soup, I don't think it would be edible. I'm also gonna put some packet of, I think this is a soup mix, but I'm going to just use a strainer to separate the noodles so the noodles don't end up in my soup. That's all carbs that I can do without. In the soup for my husband, I'm gonna have white potatoes. That's not going in mine. And the corn is not right here, but I'm also gonna put a few pieces of corn, like half of a cob in his soup. I'm not having any corn. The reason why I'm doing this is I have been tracking how different foods affect my glucose numbers. And before I end this video, I'm actually going to show you my meter and the results that I've been getting when I eat certain things at certain times of the day. All right, so let me get to washing, cutting up, and separating the pots. That's the chayote and the turnip all washed, cut up, ready to share between both pots. More will be in my pot than his. The yam, however, the bigger piece is going in his pot and this smaller piece will be going in mine. While it is good that I can have this, I have to have it in moderation because this does has the ability to cause my glucose numbers to rise a little bit higher than the other things that I'm putting in the soup. So just a small piece for me. And remember, this pot is more than 2 servings, so I'm not going to be eating this entire thing in one sitting. All right, the last thing that's going to go in are these potatoes, but only for hubby, not for me. Corn and potatoes are in here. Let's go. Corn, potatoes, yam, and the noodles are in here, but they're really small noodles, so you can't see them. So I'm just gonna cover this pot and I'm gonna keep it on medium. It's almost done. And that's mine. Okay, this is my pot, loaded with vegetables, and I still do have some soup bones or beef neck bones in here so that this will keep getting the flavor. But I fished out the cow's feet because we don't eat it. We just like making the broth. And so now I'm gonna throw those out and I'm gonna turn my pot down to low because everything in my pot is almost cooked. And I'm gonna run upstairs and get ready to come back down relaxed to have soup. It's gonna be delicious and I'll share it with you. Okay, that's my soup with all the goodness in it, all the veggies. It's pumpkin rich and some meat, just the way I like it. Hey, it's dinner time. And as mentioned, I made 2 separate pots. I'm a little cold in here. My husband said his soup didn't have enough salt in it. I think it was perfectly fine. But nevertheless, I mentioned to you I wanted to I don't sound excited enough, but I'm going to show you why I am doing the things that I'm doing, because when you're getting good results, you just have to be thankful and just keep doing what you're doing. I'm hoping, okay. See that number 126? That was my number before lunch today. 126 before lunch? Huh, that's absolutely amazing. $123. That was my fasting number this morning. I could do flips right now. I could do a jig. I could just dance, 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 because I've been working towards this. Can I maintain this? I'm hoping I can. Last night for dinner, I had, oh gosh, let's see. Last night for dinner, I had curried chicken, some mixed greens, and 1 finger of boiled bananas. And normally when I'm eating curry chicken, I like eating with ground produce. I'll have 3 fingers of banana on my plate and maybe a dumpling. And a dumpling, the way we make it, the boiled dumpling that is, it's simply flour, salt, and water, and it's boiled. That is definitely carb overload for a diabetic. So with the changes that I'm making, I am seeing great results. Now this soup, I made it today because I felt for soup, and I want to see how it's gonna affect my glucose level, my fasting numbers in the morning. It's a little bit after 6 o'clock. So I'm eating a little early, but not too early. I think I'll be fine. I'm not gonna, it tastes real good. I've been eating already. I'm sorry. It's good enough for me. Lots of pumpkin and carrots and chayote and turnip. And I do have some meat in here. I'm gonna enjoy this soup. Remember, what you're seeing on this channel, if you are able to attempt to make some changes in your life when it comes to nutrition, if you're diabetic, let me know if this is at least giving you some ideas or motivating you. That's the plan, just to motivate you. At my last doctor's appointment, my cardiologist, as I was walking out of the office, I saw these pamphlets or these little magazines for anybody to just pick it up. All right, so this one is Black Woman's Health Guide. And this one says Health Monitor. And this really was talking a lot about high cholesterol. And this one, the main theme was type 2 diabetes. And there's a doctor who wrote an article in this. And I'm not gonna bore you too long, but she gave some stats. And I thought to myself, oh my God, this is worse than I thought it was. I believe somewhere in here, it tells us that there are more than 90,000. I should have bookmarked it. I'm gonna find it. Okay, so it says here that more than 36 million people in the US are living with type 2 diabetes. It says that Black Americans are 40% more likely than white Americans to develop the disease. I'm not gonna talk about that part of it. What I'm talking about is that there is room for improvement in our lives, okay? And the doctor also talks about things that you can do to help yourself. One of the things that was mentioned in here is to eat healthy, move your body, manage your weight if necessary, because it's a myth that only overweight folks have diabetes. I can tell you that I believe there's a bunch of celebrities with type 2 diabetes, and some of them rather very thin. So, but if you are overweight like myself, losing some weight can also benefit me and anybody who needs to benefit how your numbers can improve. It's all that I've been saying. I'm not going to be preaching because I'm getting ready to finish dinner, but those numbers that I saw on my monitor this morning really was very, very encouraging. Anyhow, I'm gonna enjoy my soup. I can't wait in my video to share with you what my numbers will be tomorrow morning. But for now, this is a long enough video. I am glad that you stopped by to watch. I am hoping that you will give it a thumbs up if you've tried or you want to try or you like this video. Remember to share it with a family or friend and subscribe. I am hoping my subscribers will be increased. It is happening slowly, but we'd like to, speed up things a little bit, because I do know that whatever I'm talking about here will benefit someone. You're in the United States and you're in a state that's being affected by these snowstorms, icy weather. Stay indoors, stay warm, stay safe. Thanks for stopping by. I am Donna, and your company was enjoyed.